On today's episode of Flashback Friday in Elvis history, I take you back to September 26, 1956, 69 years ago today. Elvis Presley's in his hometown of Tupelo, Mississippi, the Alabama-Mississippi Fair, and to me, he has his most iconic rock and roll 56 Elvis performance that we have footage of. It's going to be good. Let's go back to 69 years ago in Elvis history. Let's get to the show. September 26, 1956, to me, is the most iconic concert and footage that we have of Elvis Presley. He's 1956 Elvis, rock and roll Elvis. He had just finished filming Love Me Tender, his first ever movie. I believe the next week he had to actually go to New York City and film the end scene where they changed the end scene of him from dying to him singing. His face pops up on screen. But here, September 26, 56, in his hometown of Tupelo, Mississippi, I found the newspaper from the next day from the Tupelo Journal. The title says, 20,000 persons, mostly screaming teenagers, welcome Presley home. National Guard joins 40 highway patrolmen and local officers in holding back hysterical girls. Many faint. So check out this. The article says, for 20,000 screaming fans, it was Heartbreak Hotel all over again Wednesday as Elvis Presley came home to the fair. This time he didn't have to climb a fence to get in. National Guardsmen called out for the night performance had their hands full of hysterical teenage girls who fought the cordon of men thrown around the stage. Dozens scratched, pulled hair, and shoved for a desperate chance to touch the hip-slinging Presley, who managed to stay just out of reach. The native son rock and roll idol arrived amid wailing sirens and a white Lincoln Continental and turned an already gaudy fair into shrieking pandemonium. Presley, who couldn't hardly remember how I looked in overalls, moaned songs for 45 minutes at the Mississippi-Alabama Fair, while the highway patrolmen stood off of a swarm of screaming teenagers from a specially built platform. The 21-year-old star accepted a scroll from Governor J.P. Coleman, who said the state was proud of him, and another citation from Mayor James Ballard. It's all great, said Elvis. These people are really great and all that. After clearing welcome formalities for the local boy who made good, gyrating Elvis and his guitar launched into his matinee performance before a roaring mob of some 5,000. More than 40 highway patrolmen and city police circled the 5-foot stage built to keep eager fans at a safe distance. But one girl jumped on stage. We'll get to that in a minute. Once Elvis got too close to his tearful, hysterical admirers, and they tore the silver buttons from his blue velvet shirt sleeve. Reporters and photographers had to scramble up on the stage to safety when Elvis first opened his mouth, and a yelling wave of teenage girls broke for the guitar king. One young blonde, a 14-year-old Adams, Tennessee girl in black pants, scaled the platform and threw her arms around Elvis in the middle of one of his numbers. She was dragged screaming from the stage by highway patrolmen who restrained her at one end of the stage through the rest of the performance. Elvis, the girls shrieked, tearing their hair and sobbing hysterically, "Please, Elvis." Footlights were torn from their sockets as girls tried desperately to touch their idol. Several fans fainted and were nearly trampled in the mayhem. Presley picked up $5,000 plus a 60% gate guarantee for his two performances. The lone parade in his honor went on without him Wednesday morning. The risk was too great, his manager said. Elvis's parents, the Vernon Presleys, said they thought the homecoming celebration was real nice. We really appreciate it. About his romance with screen starlet Natalie Wood, Elvis tossed off nonchalantly. I worry about her when I'm out there where she is. I don't think about her when I'm not. Joe Presley, an uncle of the singer, came up to speak of Elvis. He told him he was his uncle, and Presley said, "Oh, really?" He remembered Clyde Birkenstaff, East Tupelo alderman. "Sure, I remember you, Mr. Birkenstaff." He laughed, shaking hands. His international fame and fortune, I haven't had time to even think about it, said Elvis. Everything has happened up so fast that I can't keep up with it. I've been looking forward to this homecoming very much, he said. I've been escorted out of the fairgrounds when I was a kid and snuck over the fence. This is the first time I've been escorted in. Reminded of his 6th grade school picture taken at Milam Junior High, Elvis grinned. I'd like to see that picture. I forgot how I looked in overalls. It's been so long since I wore them. Highway Patrolman Moss Ellard, Creekmore Wright, Jack Anderson, and Burt Duncan escorted Elvis into Tupelo from just beyond Sherman and acted as his bodyguards during his Tupelo stay. Newsmen, newspaper, television, and movie photographers scrambled for room in the hot tent where a wild sort of interview took place. W.L. Moss Ellard, the chief inspector of North Mississippi Highway Patrolman District, said he never saw anything like it in all the years with the patrol. Following his afternoon performance, Elvis was whisked away by highway patrolmen to spend the rest of the day in a hotel bed. "I've looked forward to this day for a long time," Presley said Wednesday night in his dressing tent. "And the heck of it is I'm sick today and can't eat, can't smell. You know how that is." Light flashed from two gaudy diamond rings on the shape of a horseshoe worn on his left hand. Judy Hopper, the 14-year-old blonde from Alamo, Tennessee, who had to be hauled off the stage during Elvis's afternoon show, was granted a few minutes with her idol that night. Elvis asked for her. That means Elvis thought she was pretty, no doubt. "It was even more thrilling than I thought it would be," the girl sighed with flashbulbs popping. More teenage girls had to be taken from the bedlam of the front ranks of the audience Wednesday night, historical, sobbing, begging not to leave. City police had to assist National Guardsmen at the night performance. The crowd threatened to go out of control on 3 occasions when Elvis sang "Hound Dog, I Got a Woman," and "Don't Be Cruel." A hallowing sirens carried Elvis away Wednesday night. The fairgrounds were wild, with every teenager who fought for a chance at a last look at the boy who put Bliss back in a big way. So that appeared in the paper that I'm showing you right now on September the 27th, 1956. The day after Elvis rock and rolled his hometown of Tupelo. It said eager hands reached for Elvis. Screaming teenage girls begged Elvis just for a touch of his white buckskin shoes as the rock and roll king rolls them in a sawdust aisles with his famous body of English. So guys, here is Judy Hopper many years later telling her memories from that day, special day in her life. She TCB'd and jumped on stage just like all you girls wish you could do. Check this out.
Okay, we walked into the fairgrounds, and to me it was huge. I mean, I don't know if it was really as big, but, just it was enormous. So we walked in, and people had started gathering, and everybody was staking out their spot, and there were bleachers in the back, and so they suggested that we go all the way up to the top of the bleachers, and then we would have a good, like bird's eye view. And I said, no, that's not good. I mean, who wants to be way up there? So we wandered through the crowd. As well as I remember, we were not able to make our way down initially. We gradually worked our way through the crowd. And then when we saw an opening and just kind of, wiggled through there, and then got right there at front. And then once we got there, then we staked out our spot. That was our spot. Because in some of the old pictures that I've seen where I was reaching and screaming and so wouldn't it make sense that he's going to go to the one that's making the biggest fuss? The squeaky wheel? Oh, because I heard a lot of the kids later on going, yeah, they set that up. They set that up. Well, hell no, they did not set that up, because I'm very spontaneous. And when I told you, when you make eye contact with somebody, that's it. I said, I'm going up there, here. Boost me, push me, shove me, do whatever you have to do, but I'm going up there. So it wasn't planned.
So all your buddies helped you up?
They helped me up, and I think they were happy for me. But you told me later that there could have been maybe a little bit of jealousy.
Gloria said they were real thrilled, but then when you got to go backstage later, that's when they were like, darn.
Yeah, I know, because, and I know they were thrilled because when we got back to the hotel, they helped give me a bath. I mean, really, it was like, I mean, we probably wouldn't have bathed to go back the second time because, you just want to grab a bite to eat and run back. But I remember, it's funny that I should remember something silly like that, but that they were, you know, helping fix my hair, and I was getting all fixed up and everything. So they were happy for me. In fact, I had only taken black t-shirts and black pants because those were the colors. And Fran Avery had the blouse that I'm wearing in the photo with Elvis and I was Fran Avery's because she said, well, Judy, she said, don't you think maybe this will look nicer instead of just wearing a black t-shirt? And I said, yeah, probably would. So, so they were happy for me.
Guys, 69 years ago, that took place in Elvis Presley's life. To me, it's one of the most fascinating rock and roll footage of Elvis's life. And Rose Clayton Phillips' dad was the videographer. We owe it to her dad for getting those incredible shots of Elvis on stage. So thanks for watching this episode of Elvis History. Until next time, I'll see you down the road. Thanks for watching.